Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Maeve, and it has been a really long time since I recorded anything. Actually, the footage that you're looking at right now was recorded in March, and I actually have a ton more video that I've recorded and edited of other renovation builds like this one. And I'm recording voiceover on all of them today. I also have another video that I finished voiceover and editing before this, before I even started working on this build. And I never posted it, so it's just sitting in my ready to upload folder, and I never uploaded it because I was afraid if I uploaded it, then it would be another several months before I published anything. And I was really hoping to get back onto my regular schedule, and it's just been really difficult to make that happen for so many reasons, but that's personal stuff, and you're not here for that. You're here to watch me renovate this build. So I took this build off the gallery as an abandoned home, and now I'm here renovating the build, like I just said. So I'm actually kind of not what am I trying to say? This is not my pride and joy of a build. This isn't the best work that I've ever done. I am pleased with some of the things that I did with it, but I was trying really hard to stay within a certain budget. And in retrospect, that might have been kind of foolish because I was trying to stick to some kind of rules as far as how much money I can spend on each of these renovations. And I was thinking that however much money I make from a renovation is how much I have to spend on the next one, plus the stuff that I delete in the next one that also gives me some money in my budget. But I didn't realize that when you move out of a lot and you move into another one and you use the free real estate sheet, well, I don't know, this isn't a constant, but in this case, sometimes it's zeroing out my funds. And so when my sim moves into the lot, they don't have any spending money. And so I didn't realize that I was just renovating, starting with 0 simoleons. So I didn't have a lot of money to spend on this build is what I'm saying. And so it ended up being really plain, and this is kind of a large lot, and there were huge parts of this lot that I didn't even touch. So I do think that this would be a nice build for someone to move into and kind of play their Sims in this build for a while, and then eventually they could expand on this. So you could kind of treat this as more of a starter home. Yeah, I did knock out a bunch of walls, and the build just ended up not having a ton of personality, and that may be a good thing. I mean, sometimes when you go to the gallery, it's really hard to find a build that's gonna be exactly to your needs. And so sometimes it's good to be able to find something that's not so personalized to a specific type of household, so that you can go in and personalize it yourself. So if that's the type of thing that you're looking for, I think this will be great for you. This build is going to end up being ideal for 2 Sims who are roommates. And these bedrooms that I ended up with were both pretty small, so I ended up putting a loft bed in each one, and then a dresser or a desk underneath. I know that the rooms are basically they're identical. They're mirror images of each other. So this almost has kind of a dorm room feel to it because, it's just perfect for 2 Sims who are cohabitating, but not necessarily sleeping in the same bed together. And anyway, so enough about all of that. I'm totally not talking about what you're seeing on the screen. But here I'm working on the kitchen, and I think I still kind of had the modern vibe in my mind from the previous build when I started working on this one. So you're gonna see a lot of just like simple straight lines. In this build I did a lot of light colors because in the previous build I used a lot of dark colors, and I felt like that, two things. One, I felt like that closed up the space a lot and I wanted to move away from that. But also I really just like wanted to change it up. Like I don't like doing the same thing with every single build. I'm trying to like branch out and kind of like find my style. And I'm still like rapidly learning new things about interior design, and like not even interior design itself, but also design trends, and I'm probably going to get to that in a future video. So like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to dwell on that too much, but here you can see that I was thinking about like wrapping the kitchen around like to the front, and like just like the last build, not having any kind of like foyer area, and I was just really confused about like how should the layout be of this house. Because like I went into this thinking like, yeah, this is like a fairly spacious build, and to that point it kind of is if you're really good at using space efficiently. But as I talked about in my previous video, that's not really like my forte, like, you know, good use of space. Growing up in Texas, that's not something that builders and designers really had to contend with most of the time, because in Texas, like everything is so sprawled out. So like I was wanting to wrap around the kitchen counters here and then like put some bar stools, but I was worried about Sims not being able to like walk past that space. So I actually am going to end up knocking out that like curved counter, and I'm gonna like embed a table into the build. So it's like the counter and the table, like they're all built in to the house. So like you couldn't easily move the table if you wanted to, which is another reason why I said this is kind of like a dorm room sort of feel. And like same thing for the couch that I'm working on right now. Like it's gonna end up looking kind of built in. So there's a lot about this build that kind of like lends to that sort of feel. And I'm sorry if you can hear my ice. I'm about to drink some water. And yeah, I was playing around with ottomans, but I ended up again not putting it in there because I felt like there wasn't enough space. And here I'm like trying to pick a TV, but I've become really conscious suddenly that TVs in The Sims 4 are expensive, and I don't really know if I have enough money to like put a nice TV in and still. Because as you can see, like I haven't started on any landscaping, and as I already said, this is a pretty big lot size. And I haven't started on any of the other rooms either. So it's just a lot that I was taking into consideration here. So this part of the layout though, like the common area, was what I really liked about what I did with this build. So like the way that I, have the kitchen and then the living room and then just like stuck that table right in there, like I'm doing right now on the screen. And I don't stick with that table, but eventually I do find the right one. I think it's this one. But I did end up feeling kind of proud of, how that turned out. I thought was kind of creative and clever, and I was really pleased with it. So it was like the one thing that I really liked about this build. I think another thing that you might notice, I think, and it's like not showing on the screen right now, and I don't remember if that door was already there or not. Maybe it was. I don't know, but I am like still really conscious of like the number of builds that you find on the gallery that don't have both a front entrance and a back entrance. So I wonder if like, do a lot of people who play The Sims live in apartments maybe? But like even apartments I think usually have to have like a back exit and then there's like a fire escape or something. So I don't know. Yeah, we're still working on the kitchen. And what else to talk about? Let's talk about Sims news, because at the time that I'm recording this, the new werewolves pack is going to come out in like 5 or 6 days. So I think like today's the 11th, I think. Today's Saturday, and I think that means it's the 11th. But like I think the werewolves pack comes out on the 16th. And I'm really excited about some of the build buy items, especially like I am such a moon person, and I know one person who's very special to me who sometimes watches this channel who is also very much a moon person, and I hope she's watching. And I also hope that in the future, when I get to feature some of these like moon themed items, that she'll also be watching. Yeah, I'm like not so into werewolves, and like not really super into occults in The Sims. If you don't play The Sims, an occult is like any type of sim that is supernatural in any way. So like The Sims 4 has like mages and vampires, and I don't know why I'm like drawing a blank and suddenly I can't think, but like previous versions of The Sims have had like fairies and werewolves and like just all kinds of stuff. So yeah, The Sims 4 is finally introducing werewolves, and that's probably not an aspect of gameplay that I'm going to be super into, but the new pack does come with a whole new world to build in. There's not a ton of lots in this world. But it's still an interesting world. Like I've seen it on a live stream that EA did, and the build buy items are really cool, and I like the whole like overall aesthetic of the new pack, because it's very based in like the Pacific Northwest, and one of my closest friends moved to Oregon, and I've like never been to visit him, and I would love to like travel there and go see him. I have been to the Pacific Northwest, but like just driving through, because like when I was growing up, my dad was a truck driver, and I would like go with him on the truck cross country in the summers when I was in high school. So like I've seen like the enormous like coniferous forests there, and they are absolutely majestic. But I've never like really spent time in the Pacific Northwest. Like I was really just like literally driving through. But anyway, I do like appreciate that aesthetic, and I like that it has kind of like a 90s grunge sort of vibe, because that's the era that I grew up in, was like, you know, 90s grunge. Not that I was grunge, because I was like too young to be into that, but like, you know, to my like kid self, like those 90s grunge teenagers, like they were the baddies, you know, like they were like so cool and edgy and everything. Of course, back then we didn't have words like baddie, and like we didn't say edgy. But like, I don't know, through today's lens, that's what we would call that. But anyway, yeah, I just like have a lot of appreciation for that whole aesthetic, and I do like still listen to a lot of like 90s rock. So yeah, I'm really excited about the pack is all I'm trying to say. The other thing that's really exciting about the pack that's gonna come out is like, because it's all very like grungy, alternative, Pacific Northwest, and like werewolves who tend to like tear everything up, there's gonna be a lot of like items that are like run down and dilapidated and aged and distressed. I think distressed is the word that I was looking for as I was like rotating through all these synonyms. But I'm looking forward to like these items being released, because I know people are going to use those in their abandoned home builds, and then I'm going to be able to download these abandoned homes and renovate them. And also, in addition to that, I have been thinking like, because I've been renovating all these homes, and like you're looking at the third one, I think I'm on number 6 now that I'm working on. So eventually I'm going to want to like make some abandoned homes of my own for like other people to renovate. And actually, I remember a long time ago I did like a shell challenge giveaway, and like maybe I could do another giveaway because that was so much fun and I like enjoyed so much like touring all of your builds. Like that was such an amazing time for me, and such a cool video, and like then doing the premiere and everything was so much fun too. So I really enjoyed that. So maybe I could make an abandoned build myself for like all of you to renovate, and then I could pick a winner like I did for the shell challenge, and like do some kind of a pack giveaway like I did before. So that is totally something to consider, but I just had that idea like right now, and what I was actually about to say is just that I'm looking forward to that pack coming out so that I can build an abandoned home of my own for other people to renovate. So that'll be really cool when that pack comes out in less than a week. And you know, the gameplay does look like it might be kind of cool. Like if you did enjoy like other occult sims, I think you will probably enjoy werewolves too. I think that like the gameplay is going to allow you to unlock like new animations and abilities, and like buffs for like lack of a better term, basically like ways to get moodlets for your sims so that they can like live more efficiently. Basically, I'm like trying to phrase things just in case anyone's watching who doesn't play The Sims, because I know when I first started making videos, like the first few people that started watching my videos, like none of them were actually Sims players, or if they were, they weren't playing The Sims 4. So I'm sorry, but like I always feel the need to over explain that kind of stuff. Anyway, you can kind of see how this is starting to come together, and we're working on the bathroom right now. I will say one thing that I always try to do when I'm like renovating a build is I always want to like keep, what am I trying to say? I always want to keep things kind of like more or less where they were intended to be as far as like plumbing and electrical. I'm not going to move the entire kitchen from one side of the house to the other because I'm trying to keep it realistic. And so like in the bathroom also, I kind of like kept everything where it was, but I just like switched it out with something newer, something like, you know, cleaner or more modern, or just like overall nicer. And I did the same thing in the kitchen, but, you know, I haven't looked at this in a really long time, but looking back on it, I really do like this cream color on the interior with those wood tones and the white counters in the kitchen. I think that looks really nice. So good job, past me. Excuse me. But anyway, I hope that I'm like done with the interior for the most part and now working on the exterior. And this always happens where like I work on the interior and I get so into it, and then I think I'm finished, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not even start on the exterior. I haven't done any landscaping, and I didn't save a lot of money for that. And then I realized like, wait, it's okay because I have debug. Like I have like, you know, live edit objects and all of that. And if you don't play The Sims, basically what that means is like there's items that are used like in the world around the buildable lot area. So like the developers have items that they used in their world building that are normally not accessible. But if you enter cheats, then you can actually use those items on your lot, and it just like makes the catalog so much more robust, especially when it comes to clutter, like for the interior, well, exterior too, whatever. But also especially for the landscaping items, because like they have so many like bushes and flowers and trees and things that like, you know, you otherwise wouldn't even be able to build with. Like this round potted plant thing, I pull that out like almost every single time I build something, and I actually almost never use it, but I always want to use it because it's so cute. And a lot of people don't even know that it exists unless they know about these cheats. And like same thing for like, you know, that set of 3 bushes that you see right there. I like almost always pull those out, and actually I do almost always use them, and I have to watch myself and not use the same items every time I build. Excuse me. So I actually don't know how long I'm building for in this video. Like usually before I record voiceover, I check to see what time I need to stop talking, but it's got to be soon because there's only like a few minutes left in the footage. So I'm gonna go. You're gonna see like the after footage of the completely renovated build, and until next time, I hope that you'll be kind to yourself and be kind to others, and always remember to stay hydrated, and I'll see you next time. Bye.